Twisha back here with another video. But before I go and get into the topic, which I think now is becoming more and more clear, I know that some people have probably said this and probably shouted it and nobody was paying attention. But now I'm seeing clearly in a lot of things. If you guys have not seen the best news concerning the Dinar global reset, check it out. Some people are confused. I am doing a response video to that, and it's going to be posted on the Patreon. I'm only asking for $1 a month if you guys want to do the Patreon. But that money that is donated is actually going towards giving me time to work on the videos, but also to also work on my animation, comic book projects, as well as some of the things that I've been working on. And I've shared some of that with you guys, and you will see some of that on Patreon. Now, the video that's going to be on there, it's in, well, at least it's titled here. I haven't edited it yet, but by the time that this video is posted, this one will already be on Patreon. All right, and this one is entitled Bankers Going Down. It's tied into what I'm saying here. All right, and the information that has been coming out lately, you guys are going to see. The information that's been coming out in the news lately concerning this and the people that are tied to that, that's one reason why you do need to see the video. All right. This one, there's no way that they're going to allow me to put this video up. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's no way that I'll be able to post that on this channel. So that's going to be on Patreon. All right. This is my Patreon channel. You'll note by my symbol here, as well as the artwork for our ongoing projects. All right, so all you got to do, you go to the site, you just sign up. You can donate $1. You can donate as much as you want per month, and we're really going to be putting it out there. All right, for a lot of our followers and our supporters for the project. All right, so here we go. And this video is entitled, "The Iraq Dinar is going to be gold backed," and I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to prove it to you that what's been going on with gold and what the central banks are preparing for. And let me tell you something. The central banks are not in control as much as you think anymore. Right? There's I've been following X22, and he does a lot of reporting on Trump taking down the central banks. He has a lot of videos. Too much to go through or too much to explain, but I'm going to do it shortly here concerning the gold, right? Now, the first thing, not only will Iraq be backed by its oil, but the Iraq dinar will also be backed by gold. Their economy, the state of Iraq, will be backed by gold and oil. Now, of course, they're going to have to diversify to keep it up. And regardless of what happens, whether it's a RI, RV, or whatever, it doesn't even matter. But all this, the countries that are ready will go. This is all going to go online at once. But I'm going to discuss, first of all, just to give you some articles. Back in 2017, February, President Trump replaced the dollar with gold as the global currency to make America great again. All right, so it talks about how he wants to make replacing the dollar with gold or gold-backed dollar. All right, that's article number 1. Trump Fed pick wants to revive the gold standard. Here's what that means. As President Trump named his picks to fill 2 influential seats on the Federal Reserve Board of Governors, the price of gold surged. That may be because one of them, Judy Shelton, is a believer in the return of the gold standard, a money policy abandoned by the United States in 1971. Shelton is raising eyebrows among mainstream economies for reviews which include slashing the Fed's benchmark rate to zero, pegging the value of the dollar to gold prices. She's not the first Trump picked for the Fed to advocate a return to the gold standard, with his 2 previous failed Fed choices. Stephen Moore and Herman Cain also advocated for a revival of the policy. In picking Shelton, Mr. Trump is aiming to place a supporter on the Federal Reserve, which he argued is slowing economic growth and depressing the stock market by keeping interest rates too high. Okay. Trump has been making his moves since he's been in office, getting people on the board, but he's already been dismantling the central bank system behind the scenes. And if you know certain things of what's going on, you already know that most of the central banks are owned by you know who. And there is a concerted effort to take them down, not because of the banking system, but it's because of the other sickening things that they are involved in. And if you watch the other video on Patreon, you will see that. And I'm going to show you another article. The quiet campaign to reinstate the gold standard is getting louder. This is July 3rd. This was just less than a week ago. The quiet campaign to reinstate the gold standard is getting louder. It has been long dismissed as a fool's errand on par with abandoning the Federal Reserve and other trappings of the modern economy. Mainstream economists deride it almost without exception. Reintroducing the gold standard would be a disaster for any large advanced economy, says University of Illinois Chicago Anil Keshav, who connects enthusiasm for it with microeconomic literacy. His colleague, Noble Richard Thaler, struggles with its very underlying principle. Why tie gold? Why not the 1982 Board Acts? Yet the idea that every U.S. dollar should be backed by a small amount of gold is actually more popular than economist opinion might suggest. Advocates include members of Congress and President Trump. Enthusiasm for a return to the gold standard has become more prominent since Trump's most recent nominees to fill the vacant Federal Reserve governorship have endorsed a return. All right, so it just goes on about Judy Shelton. And again, this is going to happen. See, it's not just going to happen with the United States. It's going to be happening with many central banks. And they are getting in line with the United States, because if they were to go to a gold-backed dollar, what would happen if all the other countries in all the world didn't do that? Well, figure it out. So now I'm getting ready to show you some articles of what's been happening, right, when it comes to gold, and how this is all being set up. All these countries are buying gold because once the United States goes to gold standard, so will a lot of other countries, including Iraq. All right, this was published January 31st, 2019. Central bank gold buying hits highest level in a half a century. In 2018, central banks bought the most gold by volume since 1967. The Russian central bank is leading the way as it looks to reduce its reliance on dollar reserves. The amount of gold bought by central banks in 2018 reached the second highest annual total on record, according to the World Gold Council. Central bank purchases reached 651.5 metric tons in 2018, is 74% higher than in the previous year, when 375 tons were bought. So the WGC has estimated the central banks now hold nearly 34,000 tons of gold. The Federal Reserve is reported to hold the most amount for almost 3/4 of the nation's foreign exchange reserve pot. All right, so that's article number 1. Why are central banks buying gold and dumping dollars? This came out June 23rd. Well, that's about almost 3 weeks ago. Yeah, why are central banks buying gold and dumping dollars? So as you read the article, it just talks about bonds getting crushed, clash of currencies. All right, and it just talks about how the central banks in the United States and how everybody's buying gold. All these central banks are buying gold. All right, gold may not be all that glisters. All right, uncertainty about U.S. trade policy has truncated the rally in stocks. Gold remains supported by central bank buying and fears of a U.S. dollar collapse. Gold miners look best placed to reap the benefits regardless of direction. A collapse in the U.S. dollar is needed for gold to rally substantially. All right. Well, the U.S. dollar is not going to collapse because they're already trying to turn it into the dollar into gold backed. So it's not going to collapse. You're not going to collapse. You collapse this economy, and then everything's going to go to hell. You won't even have time to even to put stuff together before people are rioting in the streets and all kind of other crazy stuff. In Q4 2018, as stocks declined, gold rallied 8.1% and gold mining stocks 13.7%. Interesting. I would like to know which gold mining stocks those are. And it goes over the same information that I just talked about. You can look at here, the central banks continue gobbling up gold. Here, 1997, down, 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 down. Here about 2010, they started buying, 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 buying. All right, gold reserves as of March. You see here some of the major countries. All right, so you kind of get my point on that, right? That gold, and that's the reason why they were saying like years ago, buy gold, because gold's going to go up, gold's going to go up, and people have been waiting for gold to go up. I know some of you have gold that has been waiting and waiting and waiting. Well, you actually might see it go a lot higher than what you're seeing it now. Forgot to mention, so I'm just going to reread it here again. Central bank net purchase of gold reached 650.5 tons in 2018, up 74% from 2017 when 375 tons were bought. And I'm going to skip down. For probably similar reasons, the Turkish central bank bought 51.5 tons, down from 88 tons purchased the previous year. Other big central bank buyers include Kazakhstan, India, Iraq, Poland, and Hungary. In the first quarter of 2019, central banks purchased a further 145.5 tons, up 68% on quarter one. The trend is not new. Central bank purchases have been rising since 2009. All right, so obviously there's something there that's going on. And it says that's interesting. As I look at the Iraq gold reserves, a lot of people talk about the revaluation up to this point right here. They didn't have hardly any gold at all. And maybe that's what this whole thing with the global reset has to do with. And I haven't really heard very many people talk about this. Is that the Iraqi dinar, is going to be backed by gold. Not just their oil, but their gold too. So, and that's why I say in some of my videos why you need to support the president and everything that he's doing and trust the plan. Because if he was not in power, the people that are currently in charge would remain in charge, and it would have never happened. It would have never happened. Oh, that would have kept feeding you. That's for sure. They maybe raise the rate a little bit, make it 1,000 to 1. Then everybody starts buying more again because, hey, it's getting ready to take off. No, they never intended on doing that. But now, God had intended, Yahweh had intended it for it to happen. Anyways, guys, I want you to tell me what you think. This is part of the global reset, gold back currency, led by the President Trump. I'm just gonna say this one last thing. For those of you who are waiting, like me, we still have time. Powers to be, the elites, need to be removed. The mass arrests have to take place, and it's going to very soon here. Then he will have the freedom to do what needs to be done. Then he can have the people in the Federal Reserve, even if the Federal Reserve is still will exist after the global reset. A lot of changes taking place, and you guys just have to follow a plan, be patient. It's going to happen. There's some other things that need to take place first. I thank you guys for listening. Watch, like, share, right? Don't forget about the Patreon, and let's move forward and dig in for a little bit longer and watch all these events unfold over the next 30 days. Of what's going to come out in the news is going to be shocking. It's all connected together. All of it is connected together with the bankers and everything else. So this Twisted Christian out.